It's Mickey TV, and this is the NFC Championship, Minnesota Vikings versus Philadelphia Eagles game day prediction. And Mickey D TV would like to apologize because I am so far behind on my game recaps of the past season. I missed the last 3 games. I will do recaps for those games and the playoff games the playoff game that I missed with the Vikings on my recap, and then hopefully do a recap on this game as well. All I can say is I am really surprised the Vikings have made it this far into the playoffs. Last week, I should have done some coverage. I was at the Xcel Energy Center at the Minnesota Wild game, and I had the game on, the Minnesota Vikings game on in the corridors of the stadium, and I should have just stuck it out and filmed what was happening at the end of the game, because it was a Minneapolis miracle what happened last week against the Saints with the Vikings winning. I couldn't believe it. The Vikings got lucky last week in a way, because they did what I said you can't get away with in the playoffs. Apparently they could last week with an interception, with a punt block, with some poor special teams. So, but the Vikings turned it around last week, had the Minnesota Miracle with Case Keenum throwing the digs at the end of the game. Different ball game this week against the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Vikings will go to Philadelphia and play against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are going to be tough. I don't care what everybody says, that we have a better chance of beating the Eagles than the Saints because Nick Foles or whatever the quarterback's name is on the Eagles is not as great as Drew Brees. Well, guess what? That's when things happen. That's when crazy things happen against the Vikes. Oops, let me bring up the screen here. My apologies. This is when things come around and bite the Vikings in the ass. I hate to say this. Minnesota Vikings are not going to win this football game. The Philadelphia Eagles will win this game off of grit. And they got a pretty good defense. And if we make mistakes, if the Vikings make the mistakes that they made last week, they're going to be in trouble against the Philadelphia's defense here. So I have a feeling this is going to be a blowout game. And I have a feeling the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game 35-7. That's my prediction. The Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 35-7. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. This is a totally, entirely different ball game. We'll see what happens. Skol Vikings!